What's up, guys? Time for another video on learning. Today I'm going to answer some viewer questions. Now guys, before we start, yes, I am aware that most of these questions were sarcastic, funny, whatever, but I'm still going to answer these questions because I think it can be just good to show you how I would go about learning anything that I want to learn and how I've gone about learning things in the past. Anyways, guys, if there's a question you have or something you want me to talk about, please leave a comment and I will make a video specifically for you, okay? Anyways, please like and subscribe also. So, question number 1 was from Fen03C, and he says, how do I get girls? So, this is basically gonna work no matter what. So, first, you need to actually attempt to do what it is you want to do. Okay, so yeah, maybe you probably, when it comes to this one, how do I get girls? I'm sure every guy has experience with this in the past, so you've probably already attempted, okay? But like, how much have you actually sat down and really thought about what went wrong or what went well regarding your experience with that? So basically the first step is attempting, okay? And then after that, what you need to do is find your point of constraint. And your point of constraint is, again, your limit of knowledge, okay? The part where you get to, I don't know what I'm doing. So maybe when it comes to trying to get women, you can't even get a number. You can't even get a girl to notice you. You can't even go up and talk to a girl. Well, that's your point of constraint. That's where you need to find information about how to improve on that, okay? So, you know, maybe you're in the stage where you can get a girl's number and you can talk to her for a bit, but you can't get her to go on a date with you. Or maybe you can get one date and you can't get another date, okay? Or maybe things seem like they're going well, but then suddenly the girl goes cold on you or whatever it is. So there could be a variety of things that are your current constraint, your current limit of knowledge. And what you have to do is first attempt whatever your skill you're doing, and then find that constraint, find that limit of knowledge, right? And then after that, my computer keeps turning on and off and on and off because the setup of my camera. Sorry about that. Anyways, you need to find that limit of knowledge. And then once you find that, what you need to do, find that point of constraint, okay? So find that limit of knowledge. And then you need to think to yourself, do I actually care enough about this specific problem to really go and do it? Because it may take some time to actually solve that point of constraint, that limit of knowledge, to actually go get that knowledge and apply it. It's actually going to take some time. So you need to think to yourself, is this actually something that's worth doing? Because if you don't feel like it's actually worth doing, then you're not going to actually, you know, make any significant progress with it. So ask yourself that question, okay? And then after that, we need to eliminate that point of constraint. So how do we do that? Well, it's a couple of things. Basically, what you need to do is go find somebody who's had the same problem as you, or go find information about your problem, okay? Go immerse in that situation, take input in regarding that situation, and then go try to apply it to an actual scenario, okay? A lot of times it may look something like this. For example, if you want to get girls, but you're too scared to even talk to a woman, maybe you go find a video on YouTube, how to talk to a woman, right? How to actually talk to a girl. And maybe the advice is, instead of trying to talk to women, just try to talk to any stranger. Try to talk to, you know, instead of like a young, attractive girl, try to talk to an old man on the street, or try to talk to an old lady on the street, or try to talk to, you know, somebody new. Maybe go online, go into a Discord server and try to talk to new people, okay? So maybe people have some certain solutions, and then you can find a solution that seems reasonable for your scenario and then try that solution. And then slowly build up the requirements it takes to break through your point of constraint until the point where maybe you can actually talk to a girl. Of course, if I was in this scenario, I recommend just, go and talk to a girl. Like, it seems really scary, and it is kind of scary because you have to face rejection. But a lot of learning anything is just the ability to face rejection, not just talking to women, but just in general, any skill. So just go actually, find the point of constraint with whatever it is you're doing, and then break through that point of constraint, okay, by getting new information and then trying to apply it. Then once you've done that, obviously, once you've broken through one point of constraint, one point where you haven't got the information you need, well, the next one's gonna come. So now you actually talk to her. Well, how do you actually get her number in that interaction? How do you actually keep her interested in you? How do you make her eventually into your girlfriend? Like, you're going to be running into the next point of constraint, the next point of constraint, the next point of constraint. So you eliminate the first point of constraint, you eliminate the first problem, and then you're going to have a new one come up, okay? The new point of constraint is going to come up. You're going to have to do the same process. Go find information about that point of constraint, eliminate that point of constraint. Then the next one's going to come up, and the next one's going to come up. And the whole time you're doing this, you have to be actively applying the information you're learning, the information you're gaining to whatever you're doing. So maybe during this whole time you're reading books about how to get girls, or you're watching videos about how to get girls, but you have to be actually applying that information. If you're just reading the information, you're just taking in the information, you're never actually trying to use it, well, you won't have any like real context. You need like real actual context that's personal to you, not just a book, not just whatever. But you need to see these situations play out in real life to actually get what you need from it. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's how to get girls, okay? Yeah, I could give you more advice on this too, but yeah, let's not get into it. So I'm just talking about the basic, learning process. Anyways, next question was, how do I get Roblox at school? Okay, well, if I was going to do this, first thing I would do, obviously, is try to load Roblox or whatever. I'm sure you've already done this because you've attempted it already. Try to get Roblox on a school computer. Okay, if that doesn't work, then I would go on Google and I'd search how to get Roblox on a school computer. I would read a bunch of information regarding that specific thing, and then I would figure out, okay, how have other people done it? Can I recreate that process? But before I started to recreate that process, before I actually went into recreating it, again, I would ask myself, is this even worth it to proceed doing? Like, do I actually care enough about this to like learn probably about programming or code, or, getting past firewalls or whatever it is? Do I actually care enough to go and do that? Also, is there any like risk doing this? If I'm caught, am I going to get in like serious trouble? So you need to ask yourself the question, is this actually a viable path worth proceeding in or not? And as far as getting Roblox on a school computer, like, come on, you don't need Roblox on a school computer. Like, just play freaking chess or something. Like, read a book. Like, you don't need Roblox at school, but go to coolmathgames.com. Anyways, that's besides the point. But so if I decided, yes, this is something I want to proceed with, it's worth it to me, I really want to play Roblox at school, well, then I would work on eliminating the first point of constraint. So maybe the first point of constraint for getting Roblox on a school computer is that you need to buy like a separate USB drive and then load Roblox onto that USB drive and somehow change the file type. I don't know. I'm not super into like this kind of thing, but maybe you need to change the file type so that the computer doesn't recognize the file as a game or whatever it is. Maybe instead of using a browser version, you need to use, a client-based, whatever, you know what I mean? Where it's like a program on the computer instead of playing in the browser. Or maybe you can play in the browser instead of playing in the program. Or, there's all kinds of variety of things it can be. But try each individual option, probably starting from the one that makes the most sense to you. And then as you go, something won't work and you'll have to go back and find information. So when something doesn't work, that's your point of constraint. Focus all your energy into solving that problem, and then move to the next point of constraint, and the next point of constraint, and the next point of constraint. And eventually, if you really care enough, I do believe you can get Roblox on a school computer. But again, this taps back into, is this problem actually worth solving? Is this something you actually care enough about to go and learn from? And you never know, maybe it will be good for you, and maybe you have a future in coding or whatever it is, if you actually go through the process of learning this. But I don't know, to me it seems, I know it's just a funny question, but that's how I would go about actually trying to learn how to do that. And I'm sure if you did actually learn how to get Roblox on a school computer and like how to get past the firewall or whatever blocking mechanism they have on a school computer, that information probably will be useful to you in the future. So yeah, maybe it's not totally useless. Anyways, next up from Banana Juice with 4 E's. Can I get advice on how to get away with changing the language of a computer in ICT to Mandarin? Again, very vague question. I don't know why you want to change your computer to Mandarin, but yeah, you definitely can get away with it. Obviously, what I would first do is there's going to be a couple of routes, right, to solving a problem like this. So what I would first do is like, what it would be the easiest way to solve this problem? Well, the easiest way would probably be to do like change your computer into Mandarin, right? And then to get some kind of software that translates whatever is on the screen back into English, right? Because you don't want to actually learn Mandarin to solve this problem. Or maybe there's a way that you can change the computer into Mandarin. Like, I don't know if this is maybe a Chinese person working in an American company or an English-speaking company where their computer has to be in English. So yeah, I would need more context in this situation. But obviously, so you're gonna have to attempt to solve your problem. And then through attempting to solve your problem, through researching and attempting to solve your problem, you're gonna find, okay, this is the point where I can't get past this without putting more resource into this other problem, right? It's going to be like a smaller problem because, again, this big problem is going to break down into a bunch of smaller constraints. And at that point, you need to decide, is it worth focusing on this or not? Like, how long is this going to take to solve? And it's probably going to take longer than you think to solve. And then if you decide to proceed, focus all your energy into solving that specific problem. Okay, and once you solve that, go to the next constraint, the next point of constraint, the next point of constraint. So yeah, I hope this gives you an idea of how I go about solving problems. So again, I decide it's something I want to do, something I actually care about. I attempt to solve the problem. I attempt to do the thing I want to do. And when it fails, I try to look at, okay, what point am I failing at? Where am I failing at? What's the limit of my knowledge? Then I decide, okay, I want to proceed. I want to get better, even if it's going to take time. I go and find contextual information based on that limit of my knowledge, that point of constraint. The whole time I'm applying the information, trying to improve the information. So I get the knowledge, I try to improve. It doesn't work perfectly, I get more knowledge, I try to improve, okay? And the whole time, the most important thing is actually trying to apply this information and getting mass amounts of input about especially the specific point that you're stuck on, but any kind of input regarding your skill is going to be helpful. But if you want to improve the most quickly, find those limits of your knowledge, get contextual input about those limits of your knowledge, try to apply it back and forth, over and over and over again until you can finally solve your issue at the end. So anyways, guys, I know that these comments were jokes, and obviously I don't have a ton of information on them. And you know, me myself, I'm still learning how to make videos like this, so they're not perfect. But yeah, if there's any question you have, anything you want me to talk about at all, feel free to tell me in the comments, and I'll definitely make a video for you guys. If you enjoyed, please check out some of my long form content where I go into more detail about specifically how to learn different things, and you know, different aspects of learning in general. So yeah, guys, anyways, have a great day and see you in the next video. Thank you.